Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. I'm hosting today's show from a Sprinter van in a parking lot in San Antonio.
I'm Tony Kornheiser. Blink twice if you're being held against your will. Blink twice.
Are you kidding? This is so cool. I feel like I'm on a police stakeout. Like I'm in the, the Dick Wolf Show FBI, where they're staking out and we're hearing everything. We got surveillance. Very cool.
Yeah, that's great that you feel that way because you're in a van. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Golden Knights top the Hurricanes. Aaron Donald contemplates a comeback, and Charles Barkley joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with tonight's Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Knicks are at the Spurs. Wilbon, you're in San Antonio for this. Victor Wembanyama has become a great player at just 22. Jalen Brunson has been a great player for a few years now. He's 29. Wilbon, which star is a surer thing heading into these finals, Wembanyama or Brunson?
Well, Tony, since I talk all the time about experience and at least being late in the playoffs, is sort of proving yourself there first to some degree, you don't have to have won, but you have to have been there. That would suggest the answer has to be Brunson, because he's had the disappointment the last couple of years of, playing in important, huge games in the playoffs, and the Knicks getting better, but they haven't cashed in. Now's the time in the finals that they could do that. So that suggests Brunson. I'm torn when it comes to everything about this series that I think. I don't know who to pick. I guess I may have to do that later, but I don't know. I look at this as so even. Wembanyama is so great so soon, and he has an impact on the game that is far beyond measurable statistics. There's no stat that tells you how many times a guy makes a U-turn out of the lane because he is discouraged and dissuaded for putting up a shot. There's no stat for that. So I don't know. Brunson has been the clutch player in the league already. Wembanyama has not been that. It is Wembanyama's first time, and he talked about the emotions of putting away the Game 7 victory. And so psychologically and emotionally, San Antonio has to come down and reset. I don't know, but I'm not prepared to go against Victor Wembanyama. Not anymore. No more in his career. No, till he's old and gray, and then you and I will be done by then.
Yeah, we're done now, pal. Victor Wembanyama is a great player. I mean, at 22, he's maybe a revolutionary player at this point. His improvement this year is absolutely remarkable. But Mike, I believe, and I'm checking my notes, I believe that he's going to be tested by the combination of Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby, that it's going to be harder against them than it was, for example, against Hartenstein and Holmgren of Oklahoma City. We already know about Anunoby. There is a statistic out there that there are 20 players in the NBA who have primary guarded Wembanyama for more than 100 minutes. And of those 20, Anunoby has held him to the least amount of points per possession. That's got to mean something going into these playoffs. And Mitchell Robinson is a very, very good defender, even though he can't shoot foul shots. So for purposes of this discussion, that leaves me with Brunson, and I'm going to go over the bell for a little while here. As you know, I don't think anybody on San Antonio can stop Brunson. I don't believe that. I know they were great against Gilgeous-Alexander, but Brunson's a different kind of player. He's a bull. He will engage you physically. He'll hit you as he puts the ball on the floor.
He will.
He's hitting you. And I think defenders are going to recoil to some degree that that's a very difficult position. And let me say this. I am not saying he's as great a player as Wembanyama. I'm not going there. That's crazy. I'm not saying that. But he is as valuable to his team as Wembanyama is. And I've seen him make too many great shots to just dismiss him. I'm not doing that.
Tony, I agree with all those points and understand even the ones I don't necessarily agree with. I'll just say this real quickly. Castle's a different dude. I mean, Castle's got MVP talent himself, and he didn't have to be the point guard and have turnovers. He ain't dealing with all that. Stephon Castle won an NCAA championship. He is the guy who's actually been on this stage on that San Antonio team, and Brunson's got to deal with him and others, and Harper and Vassell. I mean, it's going to be tough, but that's the attraction, I think, of this series. We're going to move to the other championship series, the Stanley Cup Final, and the Golden Knights' thrilling win over the Carolina Hurricanes in last night's Game 1. the Canes scored 25 seconds into the game, led 2-0, 12 minutes in. Vegas then answered with 3 straight goals. The teams traded haymakers after that, with Thomas Hurdle burying the game winner for the Golden Knights on a give and go late in the third. Hurricanes' loss is just their second of the playoffs, Tone, and it came at home. So was the result a big deal, little deal, or no deal?
My first inclination, it is a very big deal because they beat Carolina in Carolina. They eliminated Carolina's home ice advantage. And if I'm correct in this statistic, you'll understand why I say that. I believe that this was the first time ever in the Stanley Cup Finals series that a home team had a lead of multiple goals at any point in the game and lost the game. The home team until last night under those conditions was 55-0 under those conditions. The visiting team was 0-55. And Vegas just won that game. That has got to say something for Vegas in this series. Not only that, they scored 5 goals. The last 4 games that Carolina played, the 4 games in a row that they beat Montreal, they allowed a total of 5 goals. Now, my pushback to myself is that Carolina lost game 1 at home to Montreal. The exact same situation they find themselves in now. And they were able to win that series. So they know that they can lose game 1 at home and win a series. What we don't know at the moment is whether or not Vegas is sufficiently better than Montreal that it changes the equation. We do know that Vegas beat Carolina twice in the regular season.
Tony, yes. I think it's a deal. I'm not going big deal yet. What to me actually could be a big deal is Rob Brindamore, the Carolina coach, coming out and saying afterward, he was very definitive. Sometimes he's a little vague with his observations about his own team post-game. This was very definitive and narrowly focused. And he talked about the pressure Vegas put on his team getting to his team, about there being forced errors, about Las Vegas forcing Carolina into mistake after mistake. And I talked to PK Subban about that this morning, and that was his live time observation as well, and then reinforced by hearing Brindamore afterward. And if you're making those kinds of defensive mistakes, right, and you don't necessarily capitalize on the couple of early ones Vegas made, it should have been 3-0. There was a post involved as well. So I think it's a deal. Okay. But like you always say in multiple sports, you say game 1 is the easiest game, the most likely game to recover from. I'm going to live with that adage for now.
I'm going to do 2 things in less than 15 seconds. One, this was a vindication for everything that John Tortorella has done. They were down 2-0. They won that game. They're sprinkled with magic right now. And for your information, teams that win game 1 in the Stanley Cup Final Series, which just happened, 75.6% of the time they win the series. Let's move to football, specifically to the defense of the Los Angeles Rams. A couple of days ago, they traded for Myles Garrett, who was just named the best defensive player in football. Once upon a time, Aaron Donald was the best defensive player in football. He retired following the 2023 season after playing for the Rams for 10 years. Now there is talk Donald could come back to these Rams. Wilbon, what would Donald's return do for the Rams?
I don't know. I mean, Aaron Donald, flies right into the Hall of Fame with a gold jacket. There's no question about that. But retirement, Tony, people don't just come out of retirement and go into the space that they occupied as a great player, as a Hall of Famer before that retirement. 2 years off, and Aaron Donald's wasn't precipitated by some serious injury. It wasn't. But even having said that, so I'm at a hotel on the road one day, and Aaron Donald's there, and he's working out, and he's crushing it. I mean, I was like, what is going on? And I remember saying on this show not long after that I didn't think Aaron Donald should be retired, and I didn't think he was going to stay retired. When he announced it, I didn't believe it. And then when I saw him work out, and then I listened to other people around him who know of his workouts and the nature of them, I didn't think he would retire. But I'm not going to presume that he's going to be great like he was the great Aaron Donald right away. 2 years away of football is 2 years away from football, but I can't wait to see it. It'd be great. Great for the game.
So I agree with you. You don't want to get too carried away. He's 35 and he missed 2 full years. And you wonder, what has he got left? That's the question. What has he got left? This is what you look at with Serena Williams and her comeback. What has she got left? We don't know. In this particular case, you talk about workouts. It is my understanding that he posts videos of his workouts on social media. And as recently as a week to 10 days ago, he posted one. I hope I don't get this song wrong, but the background song, I am told, is called Ain't Done. Let me tell you something. A guy who's out of shape does not do that. I don't do that. I'm not posting videos of my workouts. That's ridiculous. The Rams are in the toughest division in football. It's the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers. Don't tell me that the Bears division is tougher, because nobody has three at the top quite like that. If you can put Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald out there together, a lot of quarterbacks in the league are going to develop a heat rash.
You do
this is like that's, and Aaron Donald, for people who don't remember him, 10 years in the league, 10 Pro Bowls. Enough, right? Let's take a break. Coming up, we will ask Charles Barkley what advice he would have for Victor Wembanyama.
We'll also ask him how he feels about Knicks fans at this point of the team's run. Might be a lot of the way I feel about Knicks.
In a story we broke in our first segment, the NBA Finals begin tonight, which makes it a perfect time for a visit from our first ever guest inside the NBA's Charles Barkley, our dear friend. We'll start with this. Let's just say that Victor Wembanyama sees you before the game tonight, and he asks for your advice, what to do in his first ever NBA Finals game. What do you tell him?
Be aggressive. Tony, the biggest mistake I ever made in my life on the basketball court, when we played the Bulls for the championship, I said before game one, we're at home, I'm going to let these guys get going. And we got blown out because I sit on my behind and was not aggressive. I would tell him, hey, don't wait on these other guys. You're the best player on the court. Be aggressive. Kenny Smith, get out of my picture. Get out of my picture.
Get out of
it. Kenny. Love that. Yeah. All right, Chuck, we get into these debates, and you got to settle this one. Tony does not think the Spurs have anyone who can really guard Jalen Brunson, that he's just too strong and bullish. I, on the other hand, I love Jalen, but I think the Spurs are better equipped than almost any team in the league to guard Brunson because they got 4 dudes. What do you think?
They do have 4 dudes, but I think, listen, I said this a few years ago, I think Brunson might turn out to be the greatest free agent signing. I'm not talking about LeBron and Kevin Durant and guys like that, but I think Brunson, if he's able to deliver a championship to New York, it'll be the greatest free agent signing in NBA history. There's nobody knew he was going to be this good. I didn't. You guys, nobody. No. When New York signed him, they didn't think he was going to be this good. He's turned them into a perennial contender. They went from never being talked about to the conference finals last year. Now they're in the finals because of Brunson. So if he's able to finish this journey, Mike, it would be the greatest free agent sign in NBA history.
Man, just to follow up quickly, Charles, do you think he'll be able to play against the Spurs the way he's played against everybody else so far in the postseason?
I think the Spurs are probably the best team equipped, but man, his confidence in his game, the way he plays, he believes in himself, Mike. He has tremendous confidence. He believes he can shoot threes. He believes he can bully people. But let me tell you something. This is going to be a great challenge. But that boy Castle is a grown man. You factor in Harper. Man, I'm telling you, that Castle kid, he's a monster. But let me tell you something. Mr. Brunson ain't afraid of nobody.
Looking forward a little bit, I think it's just different playing in Madison Square Garden. In the past, you've called Knicks fans annoying. That's a mild version of what I say. But how do you see what's happening right now in that city and that arena?
It's the most amazing thing I've ever been a part of, to be honest with you, Mike. You know, we hadn't been into a meaningful New York game in 30 years. And last year, that was just the conference finals. And it was the most electric atmosphere I'd been in a long time. The whole city is going crazy. I can't imagine what it's going to be like for the finals. I am so honored to be doing my first finals and to get the New York Knicks and get a dude who owns a whole nother country. I mean, Wembanyama, he owns a whole nother country. for us to have the honor for working for ESPN and doing the finals for the first time ever, man, I am so jacked because New York is different. They are knowing. They are 100% annoying. You know that. But, man, they love their fans. You know, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to get to the game tonight because they take over all these arenas on the East Coast. I wonder how many of them going to come San Antonio, because when they were playing on the road on the East Coast in Philly and Atlanta, it was like a home game. So I wonder how many of those people are going to travel halfway across the country to San Antonio. I can't wait to get to the arena tonight.
So we will get you out of here on this. First, let me say thank you for justifying my position on Jalen Brunson and telling Wilbon to shut up about his position. And now we will move to this. You are on the record. You're on the record as picking the Knicks in 6. Why?
The Knicks have been the best basketball team in the world the last 6 weeks. And people can say, well, listen, yes, are Oklahoma City and the Spurs the two best teams? Probably they are. But the Knicks, the road they have been on, you can't deny they have been the best team. And the thing that's impressive, Tony, they ain't squeaking by. They are not squeaking by. They are out here mauling people. It's been great to watch. And listen, let's be honest. It's great for the NBA. Adam Silver cannot be happier that the New York Knicks are in the finals. Listen, I can't wait to get to the game tonight, but I actually cannot wait to get to New York next week because, man, the atmosphere is crazy.
Yeah, it's good to hear you want to go to New York. I'll give you some restaurants to go to. I grew up there. Thank you, Chuck.
Is Binghamton in New York?
See you in a few minutes.
Binghamton doesn't count, does it?
You can catch Charles, Kenny, Ernie, and Shaq tonight on NBA Tip-Off at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll take one last break, but still to come, a play that Joe Adele would like to forget.